All right, everybody, we're going to get started. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we're going to talk in our webinar about options for our non-Missouri residents, our out-of-state Tigers that are going to be joining us here at Mizzou and talk about financial aid and talk about residency and a lot of good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Right out of the gate on the agenda, we're going to financial aid options that are available. We're going to talk about gaining residency, the process, the steps, and timing. We have someone here from our residency department, and then we're going to talk about the impact that gaining residency might have on your financial aid. And then we're just going to give some next step reminders that are just good housekeeping items for everyone to continue to think about and make sure that they're getting done as you lead into that first year. Okay, so non-resident financial aid. I have what are called non-resident scholarships. All of them are shown here, but the majority of them are. These are awarded at the time of admission. And important notes to remind yourself of is that when you do receive these automatic scholarships, there are renewal criteria that are attached to them. You can continue to receive them for up to 8 terms total. So that's 4 consecutive years as soon as you're pursuing your first bachelor's degree. So they do not apply to the summer term. You have to be enrolled full time, and amounts stay consistent with what you were awarded at the time of admission. So non-resident students that gain residency are not eligible for, or not continue to be eligible for their automatic or competitive scholarships. And if you gain that residency, we're going to talk a little bit later about what that means and how that still benefits you, or what the benefits are of gaining residency in that situation. So this is a snippet of some of our competitive scholarships. Again, these are awarded at the time of admission. They're not automatic, so you're competing for those, and that's the difference there. But just calling these out, again, these are on our admissions website, and then the renewal criteria and all the important notes that are associated with the automatic are also still part of the competitive ones as well for the renewal criteria. So we encourage you to get out on our website and see those and make sure you're aware of that as you progress through your academic career. Okay, the MU grant is a need-based grant. This is our need-based grant that is available to non-resident students. It is based upon information that we receive as part of your application. So academic information, FAFSA information. We take federal, state, and other Mizzou scholarships into consideration for determining what your need is. And then again, you have to enroll full time. You have to be pursuing your first bachelor's degree to receive this. And then you are eligible for this, for an MU grant, you are eligible for up to 10 semesters. You just have to continue to complete your FAFSA by the published priority deadline, and then you can continue to receive that MU grant for the amount that you were awarded as an incoming freshman. So please note, if you receive any additional aid as we're calculating that initial MU grant, if you do an appeal and you get a higher automatic scholarship, then your MU grant will be potentially recalculated, and in most situations it's likely going to decrease. And the reason for that is because when we're calculating your MU grant, it's based upon how much need you have remaining, and that need that you have remaining is decreased if your other scholarship increases. So that's the reason for that. I know that can sometimes be frustrating, but we just want to go ahead and tell you that and make sure you're aware of that up front to set realistic expectations. Okay, other Mizzou scholarships that we have are donor endowments and donor gift scholarships. Academic units have their own scholarships, and there are other departmental scholarships on campus as well. The way you get considered for these scholarships is you complete our annual scholarship application through Scholarship Universe. You will fill it out, and once you fill it out, we take information from our system, we take your application, and we match you to potential scholarships that you're eligible for. And then from there, you're compared with other students and their competitive scholarships. So there's not a guarantee that you're going to get these scholarships, but if you don't apply through Scholarship Universe and apply by the deadline, then you're not going to have any chance at getting them. So it's really important to do that. A majority of our departmental and endowment scholarships go to upperclassmen. There are some that do go to incoming freshmen and transfers, but pretty much all of those have been awarded at this point. There could still be a couple that are trickling in, but we do encourage students and families at this point to plan for the cost of college, with the assumption that you're not going to get any more of these Mizzou scholarships through this particular application for this incoming initial year at Mizzou, but continue to apply for this. Make sure you apply for it every year thereafter, and you could potentially get some in the future. So again, it's an annual application that you need to complete for potential to get those scholarships each year. We also have on our website some good resources for applying for private or other external or outside scholarships. There are a lot of great resources out there where if students apply, they might be able to get additional aid from a private or external scholarship foundation. You might also want to check with high school guidance counselors, see if they know anything about like local scholarship programs that help support students. Churches, Rotary clubs, like any type of community organization. And sometimes, and you also want to check with your parent or potentially even if you've been working as a student, sometimes employers have the tuition remission type of packages that apply toward paying for college costs. So we could encourage people to check that out and explore all of your options. And that all can be combined with your other financial aid. We stack most of the external awards up on top of the other financial aid that you're offered. The only time that we sometimes have to reduce it is if you're getting close to your cost of attendance. That is the maximum amount of financial aid that you can receive. And I always encourage families to think of financial aid like coupons. And sometimes some coupons can be stacked, sometimes some coupons can be doubled. But financial aid, but sometimes coupons can't be. They can't be used in combination with each other. And financial aid programs are very similar to that. Sometimes they can be used together and sometimes they can't. So every single financial aid program has a different terms and conditions. We evaluate all the terms and conditions for everything that you qualify for. And then we put the best financial aid package together that we are able to do. If you do receive a private or external scholarship directly to you, you're going to want to report that to our office, and then we will put that as part of your financial aid package. And if you receive the check and it needs to still be sent to us, make sure your student ID is included in that, and you're going to want to mail that to our student financial aid office here in 11 Jesse Hall, Columbia, Missouri. And that address is there. It's on our website. So please feel free to check that out and let us know if you have any questions. Other options for helping a non-resident student help fray the costs to attend Mizzou is potentially seeking out student employment. We have a great career center here on campus. They do a lot of great, they provide a lot of great resources. But where that red arrow is pointing is the drop down where students can search for jobs. And jobs could be a federal work study job, or they could just be a part-time student job. You don't necessarily have to be federal work study eligible to get a job on campus. Benefits of getting a job on campus versus off campus often include they work better around your class schedule. They understand and respect that you're a student, and it's easier to work with a campus job to work around your academic schedule. So we encourage you to check that out, because this can be another resource to help get the number of hours that you're comfortable with in a job, a part-time job, to help you supplement your educational costs without going into any more extra debt than you need to. Loans also can help fill the gaps in educational costs. The federal direct subsidized loan and federal direct unsubsidized loan, those are loans that go in a student's name, and they can accept those through their Mizzou portal, as well as complete some entrance counseling and a master promissory note on the federal studentaid.gov website. Federal Parent Plus loan, that is a loan that's actually in the parent's name. And so that does not go in the student's name, that actually goes in the parent's name. And that loan, the sub and unsub, they have specific maximum limits that you can have as a student. And oftentimes those maximum limits don't cover all of the costs that you have. Sometimes you can do the sub and unsub, and then you can work in combination and pay everything off over time. But the Federal Parent Plus loan is another great resource to help cover that gap. There's also private or external educational loans, and those loans could go in the parent or the student's name. Often if it goes in the student's name, it does require a cosigner unless the student already has built significant credit. So, but it's something to check out. Loans can really help be an investment. We know with a college degree that your lifetime earnings increase dramatically. And so loans can be something that if it's done responsibly and you set a budget and you plan thoroughly for the finances, it could be something that could potentially help you. You can graduate with the least amount of loan debt possible and then have success in your career and be able to pay those loans back. So Office for Financial Success is another really great resource on our campus. They are separate from our office, but they provide a lot of great programming. If you are nervous about creating a budget or nervous about planning for the cost of college, not just for 1 year, but for multiple years, they're a very great resource, and they will sit down and help you develop that plan. They'll talk to you about only borrowing what you need, developing a budget. They'll also talk you through some differences between the plus loans and the private loans. And when you're considering borrowing a plus loan or a private loan, the types of things you want to think about are interest rates, the terms and conditions for the payment plan, the repayment plan, how long you have to repayment, what your options are for repayment. And that's really, we can't tell you exactly what loan is best for you, but we want you to shop your options, and we can help you shop your options. The Office for Financial Success can do that. And also don't hesitate to give us a call, and we will point you in the right direction to read about those resources, figure out the differences, and compare the loan that's best for you. Okay, so why you should still look at gaining residency if you have a non-resident automatic scholarship that is basically covering most of the non-resident fee. Because when you gain residency, essentially that takes you down to being charged resident costs. And so the reason why we get this question often, and our answer is that when you gain residency, there's still benefits to gaining residency, even though you already have a scholarship. So over time, it can afford you an equal or greater discount than your non-resident scholarship, and you have more flexibility in your educational pursuits. And what I mean by that is that your residency discount, it will apply in the summer terms. Your scholarship does not. Your scholarship is only good for the fall and spring terms. The residency discount also can go beyond the 8 semesters or the 4 years. So if you need an extra semester to finish your degree, if you need an extra year to finish your degree, residency would apply. Scholarships also require you to continue to meet academic criteria in order to retain the scholarship. Residency does not have that requirement. So those are the main reasons why you should still consider looking at gaining residency. Maybe it's not the right fit for you at all. Maybe it's not the right fit for you in the first year, but as you progress through your academic career, I encourage you to reevaluate the costs and how far your scholarship is going, as well as if you think that you need to take a summer class, or if you're going to go beyond 4 years to complete your degree. Those are the main key points of why it's beneficial to still consider gaining residency at some point in your career. But it's important to plan early. And the reason for that is I'm going to kick it now to our residency department, and they're going to explain why it's important, all the steps through it in the process.
Hello, thank you for letting me join you tonight. I'm happy to be here tonight to talk about the residency process. I just want to let everyone know we have a great deal of resources available on our website, which would be available to you. And also, we always have staff available that are willing to help you, and we're available all the time. So feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Okay. We're going to talk about some of the important dates about applying for Missouri residency. So for the fall semester, and it's the same for every semester, we have dates that have requirements for when you have to be available and have your materials ready to turn in, and for us to review and decide if we need any additional information. There are several things on here we'll talk about. To gain residency, it takes a year-long process, so it's 12 months. So if your student is starting this August and they're interested in gaining residency, they will be looking at that for fall next year. These dates are the dates that are for people who are qualifying this year. For instance, as an example, if your students begin the process in the spring, for some reason they're starting mid-year, you can also go spring to spring. The petition period is usually about the time that you would turn things in the beginning of the semester and would go on about a month. So if you have any questions about that, of course, we can help with the details, and the exact dates will be out later when it gets a little closer to time. During the school year, I want to emphasize, it's okay for your students to travel. It's not necessary for them to remain in Missouri. They can come home for breaks, they can come and go as much as they wish. However, when we get to the summer dates on here, the summertime is a required residency period in the state of Missouri. Doesn't have to be Columbia, but it has to be in the state. And they need to remain in the state, and they only have 14 days they can be out of the state of Missouri. So it's very important to keep track of your times that are your days that you're going to travel and things like that, so you don't exceed that 14-day period. And if you have questions about that for some kind of specific reason, let's say there's going to be some medical treatment or anything like that, of course, contact us and we'll talk about what kind of exceptions are, but the exceptions are extremely few. So I do want to make sure that you know you need to make plans for your student to stay in Missouri the summer before the petition period begins for your particular year. Okay. This one's just for people who might be legacy families who have done residency in the past. Everything we do now for the petitioning process is done online. So all the documents that you'll be turning into us will need to be digital and attached to your petition. In the past, years ago, if you had older siblings, it was paper-based, but we can't do paper anymore. So it's all digital, just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. And we can help with any questions about using the technology, but it's very, very user-friendly, so it's not usually a problem. So if you have a student starting, you're thinking about residency for next year, it's like, okay, what can I do to get ready? Well, the things during the school year, what can I do early on? I'll just be working towards that. Some of the things that they can do is they can get their Missouri driver's license, and if they drive, or a Missouri state ID if they don't drive, that's fine too. They can get registered to vote in Missouri. And if they own the car that they use, if it's theirs, it's titled in their name, they can get their Missouri vehicle registration taken care of. If the car is titled to someone else in the family, then that requirement is not a necessity. You can just skip that part right there. Some other things that you can start thinking about, and I want to emphasize this, there's going to be so many new things and changes starting college. This is not anything that needs to be the first on the list to be concerned about. Let's get everyone here, get off to a good start, you know, do all the things about getting that transition made and be successful, and we can worry about residency a little later in the year. But things that you can do in addition to this is you can start thinking about and making plans what you plan to do for living arrangements in the upcoming summer, and also and for the fall, if that is you know, something that you're going to do in the same place maybe, or if you're going to sublease and get another lease. And just thinking about that, and have a discussion about getting a part-time job at some point, or working full-time in the summer, or whatever your plans is for working towards the requirement for income. So talking about income, your student needs to have a Missouri taxable income. So the qualifying year, going to be all year, it doesn't have to be just in the summer. They need to earn $2,000 in Missouri. And they'll need to be able to demonstrate that with their pay stubs. And that can be done, like I said, if you can work a few hours a week all year, then that's going to be easy to get that taken care of. Or you can wait until the summer and work full time. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter that you've earned the income during the qualifying period. It is helpful if you work in the summer, because you can use your work dates and your work schedules to help document your presence in Missouri during the summer period. So that's always a good idea. And, you know, sometimes students may have never worked before. They might not be sure how to go about looking for employment. We have a terrific career center that is very capable of helping students make that first foray into the job market here in Columbia or even somewhere else in the state. Again, you don't have to remain in Columbia. They can live anywhere in the state of Missouri during the qualifying period in the summertime. Okay, so showing proof in the summer, proof of presence, sorry, the proof of presence in the summer. This is what we were talking about. During the school year, we know your student is here because they're going to class. It's during the summertime that is the most important to be able to document where you lived. So we're going to, if they're working, we're going to want to see copies of their pay stubs and their work schedules for their pay period, because we can use those as dates to prove that they were in Missouri. In addition to that, we'll need copies of their bank statements or credit card statements using your debit card every 2 to 3 days during the week. During the summer will help demonstrate your presence in Missouri. I want to emphasize it is not important that you spend a great deal of money. It can be simply, and I even brought a prop, a bottle of water. Said you can do a bottle of water at the gas station and run your debit card through for that $1.50, and it will show that you had a transaction in Missouri that day. That's all it's necessary. But it is important that you go to a point of sale, meaning you went someplace and you used your swipe card, not ordering things through, let's say, an online dining or something like that, because it may not show on your credit card statement that it was purchased in Missouri. It may be, run through Starbucks in Washington State, and that won't do you any good to prove your presence in Missouri. So it's very important to make sure that your swipes count. And that's something, as technology changes, is something I'm needing to emphasize more frequently, as we have people coming with many, many transactions, but they're not in Missouri, and it doesn't really help. So we want to make sure you understand how to get that documentation that you need. One of the things, if you need housing assistance for the summer, figuring out where to live, of course, we have housing on our campus during the summer, so you can easily stay with Residential Life, and you have a link to their housing site. And there's also an off-campus Missouri website that is part of the university website that helps you locate off-campus housing resources. Okay. Very important, and I've already hit it once, but I'm going to say it one more time. We have to stick to the 14-day rule. Please do not be outside of the state of Missouri more than 14 days during the qualifying period. Any time outside of Missouri, and this is a good one for our friends from Kansas City and St. Louis metro area, if you go over to see your friends and you go over to the other side, let's say to Kansas or to Illinois, and go to eat your lunch, and you run your debit card, it's going to show that you were in Kansas City, Kansas, or Alton, Illinois, or wherever you went. And that's going to cost you an entire day. Just because you may have only been over there a half an hour, it doesn't matter. It's still counts as one of your 14 days. So please be wise and keep in mind what your plans are, so you don't have any problems when you get to the end of the summer and you still have plenty of days for unexpected things. In case you, something happens where you have to run home and do something, you still have some days left to work with. Okay. Proof of dependency status. So most of the people we're going to be interested in residency at this webinar are probably going to be under 21 years of age. So it's very important next year, or this year, if you're petitioning this year, it's the it's your 2022 taxes you just filed. If your student is going to be doing it next year, it'd be the 2023 taxes. But regardless of what year it is, if your student is under 21 for any time during the qualifying year, you must not claim them as a dependent on your out-of-state taxes. That is a red flag, then not something that there's any wiggle room on. So you must not claim them on your taxes. Otherwise, they can't be seen as Missouri residents. If you come from a family where you may have parents living in different states or filing separately for perhaps divorce or something like that, we'll have to have information from both parents, and neither can claim the student out of state. If your student happens to be over 21 the entire qualifying period, then different rules apply, and we can talk about that individually. But basically, the student would supply their own taxes at that point. Again, if you have any questions, we're very excited to help you and help your student make their way towards Missouri residency. Please contact us or come see us at the registrar's office, and we'll be glad to assist you. Thank you very much.
Okay, we are now going to talk about the impact of gaining residency on financial aid programs. We already touched on it a little bit, but we're going to go through a few Q&As here. Okay, so how does gaining residency impact my non-resident scholarship? Well, if a student gains residency, you're no longer eligible for that non-resident scholarship. Non-resident scholarships are meant to reduce the cost of the non-resident tuition and fees, and therefore they're not transferable to the remaining portion of the tuition and fees in that same amount. So the non-resident scholarships also do not convert. We get this question a lot, so I'm going to emphasize this. They do not convert to a resident automatic scholarship when residency is gained. So you've received the non-resident scholarship as a non-resident at the time of admission. It does not go back and become a resident version of the scholarship or a resident version going forward. That's really important. We get that question a lot. And so we want you to be prepared and have the correct expectations if you decide to go ahead and gain residency. Again, just gaining residency allows you over time. It allows you to gain an equal or greater discount than what your non-resident scholarship would. So that's the benefit of still continuing to think about gaining residency. And again, gaining residency allows for a more inexpensive experience with your tuition and fees in the summer. And if you need to go for more than 4 years, you still have that opportunity to do that and have that discount, where those with the scholarship you would not. Okay, so do non-resident scholarships carry over from year to year? The answer is yes. Non-resident scholarships are renewable for a maximum of 8 semesters or until a student earns enough credits to actually achieve their bachelor's degree, whichever occurs first, and then that student meets all the published renewal criteria that we have listed here. So you have to remain a non-resident. You have to continue to enroll full-time continuously in the fall and spring terms. The award does not apply to summer terms. We're emphasizing that because we every year we get students that are confused and think that they can use their scholarship in the summer, and you cannot do that. So we just, again, want to emphasize that so you are not surprised if you enroll for summer and the scholarship does not apply. Meet satisfactory academic progress. That's a federal requirement. You can check that out on our website if you're curious about what goes into that. Essentially, it's GPA, completion of classes, and graduating on time. So maintain the minimum cumulative GPA as well. We don't have the GPAs listed here because for different scholarships, some of those GPAs are different. So I, again, encourage you to head out to our website and check out those renewal criteria in total so you know exactly what the expectations are to maintain that scholarship. Okay, so do community external private scholarships reduce my non-resident scholarship? This is another common question that we get. And the answer is pretty much no. The only time that it could potentially reduce other financial aid in your package, or we can't give you the full external scholarship, is if you are already packaged up to the cost of attendance. So there are federal requirements that we have to keep students packaged within their published cost of attendance. There are sometimes an opportunity for you to appeal to get a higher cost of attendance, but that requires documentation and an approved reason. Certainly, if you do want to go through that process of an appeal, contact our office and we will happy to walk you through those steps. But for the most part, yeah, any external scholarship you get from a non-Mizzou entity, that is going to stack on top of your institutional scholarships that you get, including your MU grant, if you have an MU grant, which is that need-based grant we were talking about earlier. So, okay, so things to think about next. Check out critical next steps. There's a lot of really good information in there of things that you should make sure that you're completing. Earlier is always better. Do not wait till the last minute. Check out the terms and conditions so you're not caught off guard by how the financial aid packages work. Log into your Mizzou and make sure you get your to-do list done. Again, please do not wait. We get very busy middle of July all the way through September. We have extremely long waits and extremely large processing numbers. So if you can do things early, it is to your benefit. So you do not incur any late fees or anything like that because of the time of year and the documents that we need to get from you. To-do list, if you click on the to-do list, there is a lot of detail there and it walks you through exactly what we need. If for whatever reason you click on that and you don't understand what we're asking for, do not hesitate to give us a call. This stuff can be complicated and sometimes Sometimes the information is confusing, and we are requiring things because the federal government is requiring us to check out these things. So please contact us. We'll walk you through it, but do it early so you're not waiting till the last minute. Granting others access to your information. If you want us to be able to talk to your parent or another legal guardian or a friend, you can grant them access. Otherwise, once you become a student, there are federal laws, FERPA, that does not allow us to talk to you or share information from your account. So please, if you're interested in sharing things as a student, you need to go in there and you need to, Mizzou One is a great resource to go in, click on the tasks in the right-hand side of the screen, and read about them and decide who you'd like to share information with and share what information. And also, all of our webinars are meant to be an overview, a bigger picture overview, and make sure that you're aware of the basics. We understand we can't go into great detail because everybody's situation is different, but we are here to help you with your individual situations. Next week, we are doing Zoom drop-in sessions from 4 to 6 p.m. We will have people sitting in a Zoom, and what we do is we do breakout rooms. So we take you into a breakout room, we talk to you privately. That's where we're going to address your individual questions and scenarios that you have. So please feel free to join us on those links will be sent out. The other thing is, if you can't make those Zoom drop-ins, go ahead and book an appointment, and we will be happy to help you in any way that we can. I will tell you that our appointments are booking up fast, and so if you are interested in scheduling a specific appointment with us, please go ahead and do that fast, because we are starting to book up. I think we're already booked into May. So, but again, you can still call us or email us with your questions anytime if you can't get a quicker appointment and you need to. Don't hesitate to use our phone number or our email, or you can come to our office and walk in and talk with us. So that's all we have for tonight. We really appreciate everyone joining us. Please don't wait. If you have questions, give us a call, reach out to us. I cannot emphasize that enough. Do not wait. Problems or questions or things do not resolve themselves without reaching out to us. So again, we thank you. We're looking forward to having you as a Tiger, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. Thanks so much.